What's happening, people? United Central back with another podcast. This is a Straightjacket podcast, 113. And yeah, man, this is the aftermath of the Chelsea 0-0 draw. I'd probably would cover a draw in a ball fest, at Stamford Bridge. No, did I said to you, didn't I? I phoned you. I said 0-0 again. Did I say that to you? 0-0 again, man.
Yeah.
Before we talk about Ollie's ceiling and all that, what did you make of that game, mate?
You know what? I actually like the way United played in the first half, man. I actually like the way we played in terms of midfield and defense. Obviously, we're playing against Giroud. Obviously, he's got no pace in it. You know what I mean? So we can afford to push up. But I thought the press. It's one of those games that I was really, really impressed with the press, Man United press, the way we were pressing, and we winning the ball back. We made it usually we sit back in it. We sit back and the team attacks us and they take the game and we give the initiative to them and we do this low block business. But obviously, them playing Giroud made us to be more aggressive. And I thought Fred, McTominay, I thought Bruno, I thought Rashford, I thought James, Greenwood, they were all trying. Like they were all trying to press. They were pressing him, pressing the Chelsea back four, pressing in midfield. So I thought the two teams kind of cancelled each other out because there were a lot of crisp passing in the midfield, but there's also loads of like lost possession by both teams. I thought Chelsea started really well in the first 10 minutes. Then after that, United came into it. United then started to play. Fred started to win the ball back. But Saeed, it's the same thing we talk about. Winning the ball back is one thing. Is what you do with the ball when you win it back. And we can't sustain possession, and then we cannot go and then hurt teams up the park. I love James. Like I said, I got a lot of love for him. I'm not one of those muppets that people that jump on James and say James is this or is that. You know what I mean? I just think it takes a lot. Losing your father, signing for Man United, all of that takes his toll. And he's still a young person. You know what I mean? He's a human being and he's a young person. But when Man United are relying on James on the right-hand side to create anything, but don't get me wrong, nobody did anything either. Bruno didn't do anything. Rashford didn't do anything. Greenwood had to make a chance for himself. And I thought
that still subbed him off.
You know what?
Still subbed him off.
You know what? That would have gone in. But to be fair, I did think he was tired at the end. I didn't disagree with Ollie subbing him off because he looked tired. Because that's the first time where he's played up front, maybe by himself, for a long, long time. I'm not seeing him playing for Man United for up front. And I did think that Chelsea's back four pressed him hard, and they were being aggressive in the second half. So I think 0-0, but it was nowhere near like the 0-0 that was at Old Trafford. I thought that game.
Is that how far we've fallen, though? Is that how far we've fallen, Nuruddin?
No.
I'll come back to Nuruddin.
What we've fallen. But what I'm saying that you can't get 0-0. Like one of the best games I ever went to was the Champions League final between Juventus and AC Milan at Old Trafford. And it was brilliant 0-0 in terms of like, there was so much action. There was so much play. The teams weren't giving an inch. You know what I mean? It was ultra competitiveness where everybody was on their game. And sometimes you can get games like that. But it was about to me, I always think about how well United played is how many times did we work their keeper? I actually thought we were going to get smashed. I actually thought that. I thought we were going to get beat. So when you go in with low expectations and Man United don't get beat, I'm like, oh, okay. And then I'm looking at the injuries. And then the only thing for me was that in that second half where Scott McTominay is not played and he's not trained that well because he's been injured, apparently. Donny van de Beek was on the bench, even though he's been injured for a day, but you could have given him 20 minutes. So you could have played maybe Donny or took Fred off or, got Donny to sit. And that's what you could have done in the midfield, just to bring a bit more change of creativity. But I just, the game's not always about him, but he's our most influential player, Bruno. And I would just like to say that to Bruno. I think he needs to stop, because I heard him talking about it, saying, teams say, fans say, I don't do things against the top six and whatever. I think he needs to just relax. I think he needs to be the ultra professional. I think he needs to get that out of his head. And I just think he needs to just work on the pass. Because yesterday, it's like he's putting too much pressure on himself and he's trying too hard. He's trying too hard. And I thought the best moments, some of the best breaks we could have had, if the quality was there, that final pass, we could have maybe scored. But I 100% think that was a stonewall penalty. And if that was for Chelsea, I would be honest enough to say that was a stonewall penalty. And I don't know how the referee looks at that. Hudson-Odoi was almost playing knives and fork with the ball. He was almost taking a chunk out of the ball like an apple.
I think, though, in all honesty, though, I think it would have been harsh on if United, if that penalty was given against us. I think you got on reflection for me. When I looked at it, I thought it was very harsh.
The
tip of his finger. Tip.
But it doesn't matter. Listen, Lindelof, the ball deflected of Lindelof against Crystal Palace. The guy shot. Lindelof is running. You know how you run like that? Your action is you go like that to run, yeah? You go like that to run. But Hudson-Odoi and both Greenwood, they're both on a standstill, so the ball's dropping over the head. They're both not running.
Was it clear and obvious? Someone says here.
No,
clear and obvious.
I don't care what anybody says. When you, Saeed, that's an unnatural position. You're like that. It's like you're grabbing a football. So if I throw you a tennis ball, that's how you catch.
Yeah.
Right. If you need to come around to my gaff, if I throw you the key, that's what you do. You catch. That's a catch moment. And then he pushes the ball like that, and then they go, it's Greenwood, and then it drops to Greenwood's hand as Greenwood is trying to get in there to get the ball. But no, that was a stonewall penalty. But I did say, of course, it doesn't overshadow the game because the game was even game. I mean, De Gea made a one good save, and that's what's all in it. But Chelsea didn't really create that much either. And I thought we dealt with their threats a bit more. But I just thought on the counter, our times where we had a bit to build up, we didn't quite believe. We didn't believe. And to me, it just shows playing McTominay and Fred, when you're playing them, they might be running around, they might be tenacious. You can't play that. There has to be a third guy in there in midfield with him. If you're going to play
look at Statman, what he says in your Statman, he goes, the fact that we're having a debate shows it's not clear and obvious. I think that's why, for me, ultimately, the referee...
Saeed, listen to me. Come on now, listen.
Is it a subjective argument, though?
That was a penalty. Under the new laws, that's a stonewall. Under new laws, when VAR looks at it, that's a stonewall. The funniest things that you could see, the referee, why do you think that they asked him to go and have a look at the monitor? They asked him to have a look at the monitor to go and say, that's a pen, mate. That's a stonewall.
You know what?
Dyer, listen, I think Dyer, Lindelof, all get given. Dyer was just jumping for the ball in the air, try to head at it. His hands are coming down. The ball is behind him.
I don't think it was stonewall, though. I don't think it was stonewall.
That was given us the penalty. Lindelof is running against Crystal Palace. The ball gets deflected to him. The guy shoots. It takes the deflection of Lindelof's running action, like he's running action, and that was a giving a penalty. Hudson-Odoi yesterday was holding that ball like it's a hot potato, mate. The guy could have got that like it was some sort of steak, bro. Oh, he didn't even need knives and forks, man. The man was eating it bare hand steak, taking a bite out of that hand. That's a stonewall penalty, mate.
I'm going to discuss the match here. I'm going to come to you. But shout away, big up to JV and Flawless in the building. You get me. Shout out to them from Pi Radio. You get me. Aaron, I want to talk. You know what it is, yeah. I don't want to get to the penalty. I want to go away from that because I feel like for me, what I want to look at and focus on is the game. 0 big chances created. Didn't look like we were ever going to score. Again, you know what I mean? A sign of in the big games. Ollie, for me, tactically, hasn't got anything about him. I'll be honest with you, man. And I think for me, when you look at them kind of games, for me, I want to see indication of where we're going to be in a few years' time or where we're going to be in terms of challenging. These kind of big 6 games are the mark-off to say, you know what? We're the big men here. We're Man United Football Club, and we're going to do something next season, or we're going to challenge City, or we're going to do something. Yeah, I know you're laughing there, but I want to see that. And I just feel like for me, hold on. Let me ask
You're the only biggest. That's the ambition of your owners. You're the only biggest.
No, forget the owners. I want to talk about football.
Simple, mate.
The owners. Listen, the owners can go stay where they are because for me, we'll get to that in another question. But Aaron,
you can't separate that. You cannot.
No, you can't separate that for me. You know why you can separate that? No, hold on. How does? No, hold on. You're on mute.
No, you know what? Listen,
I'm not having the owners talk about this. Mate. I'm not.
All the cultures in the world don't eat bread without putting some oil or bread on it, mate. So butter on it. It's a fact. It's that.
Listen, some people eat bread on this own, mate.
And the managers and the coaches,
That's never
Everyone's
been
eating dry bread, man. You dip it with something, man.
He's never had a struggle in that.
Nobody eats dry bread though. Tell me
Yeah,
what
no,
goes
Yeah,
on
I've had dry
Listen.
bread before. I've had dry bread.
Yo, bro, it's
I've
banging
had dry
dry
bread,
bread.
bro.
Aaron,
Hard
Yeah,
times,
get
though.
some.
Aaron, you know the
You
only
might know
time
hard
you eat
on
dry
them.
bread is when you got the runs, bro. When you got the runs, yeah. When you got that belly ache, yeah. When you got the runs, right, and you're on the, you know what? You're only on that toilet seat. People tell you eat like plain rice, plain bread. That's the only time, bro. That's the
No, but
only
what
time
I get,
see people
I
eat plain bread.
what Said is what Said is trying to come to, what point he's trying to make. And like the comment here says, we all know the owners are the problem, and we all know how they invest in the club and how they take the money out of the club. We all know this, right? But I think when it comes to the match days and all these things, I don't think the owners have a direct influence on the match day squad, who to select, who to play, the substitutions, the tactics. I don't think the owners have anything to do with it.
Nothing.
In fact, I know they've got nothing to do with it. That's
But Aaron,
purely
they
on.
do because they've hired the people. They hire the coaches. They
Let's
hire the
focus on
manager.
context,
They
Lodi.
hire the
Focus on the
structure.
context,
And
man.
no, but I'm trying to
Focus on the
explain to you,
context.
someone can
You
hire
can't.
me for that. Someone can hire me for their company, but if I'm not doing my job, you can't just say what happened to the guy you hired. You're not going to speak to the higher ups. You're looking at me first, Aaron.
No,
why
no,
are you not do? Wait, Aaron. Why are you not doing your job? If I have to, I don't know, make 50 calls a day and send 30 emails, and at the end of the day, I've only made 10 calls and sent 1 email, you're going to ask me first, Aaron, why did you not meet that
No,
target?
of course. And then what does your boss do? Your line manager do? He speaks to his boss, and then they pull you in, they make a decision, and they make you accountable for what, Aaron?
What about that, Nuruddin? What about that question there? But shout out to Real Zlatan there. Does the Glazers tell you to make one sub and not try to affect the game
man,
when Tuchel made their 3 substitutions?
It's a question of
you know when I agree.
It's a question of listen. It's a question of
with your point that the Glazers are directly involved with the players and stuff. I agree with that. When it's the transfer window, then you can look at the Glazers and say,
Aaron, it's about accountability, bro. It's about accountability. It's about responsibility. So every time we're frustrated, Man United have been nowhere to be seen in the last 8 to 9 years, right? Since 2013, we have been nowhere to be seen, right? In terms of going anywhere near the league or the Champions League, right? Sustaining any sort of good form, we've been nowhere. So you guys are telling me now, right, that it has absolutely zero to do with the owners and the board.
I'm not saying
No,
that.
not zero. Not zero.
Listen
I'm
to
talking
me.
about
They're
right
hiring
here
the
in this
managers.
game.
They're sacking the managers, right? They're hiring the coaches when they're
I'm
making
talking
it a
about
job
this
for the
game,
boys.
Nolan. This
You
game,
can't
Nolan.
listen. It's
This
easier
game.
to bully. It's easier to bully Solskjaer. But the biggest thing of what I'm trying to get you to remember, every week we can be on here. Every single day we can talk. You know, I'm not playing. When there's no accountability in the club, it runs through everything. When there's zero accountability, let me give you.
Hold on.
Let me just give you. I'm gonna show up. Let me just give you this perfect example. Pep Guardiola had to change. Pep Guardiola had to change the way he plays. You tell me any other club where Pep Guardiola did that? He did it at City. Do you know why? There was a moment in the season, at the beginning of the season, where the rumors were everywhere. Pep's last season, Pep failed the way he failed the Champions League. You can 100% tell there's been a boardroom meeting. Do you know what a boardroom meeting exists of? The owner, the chairman, the 2 sporting directors, the head of recruitment. You know what they said? We're gonna try one more time. But Pep, you're gonna have to take some accountability. We can't play as open as football as we usually do. And that's why we're getting caught. So what do? They go and buy Diaz, right? One of the best young centre talents. They bring him in. He gets, I don't know what's happened to the City's defending, but City get coaching staff that coaches their back four. Man like Stones, who was in Tesco, in line to go and work at Tesco, is now looking like an £80 million, £100 million centre half. So what I'm trying to tell you guys is that it's accountability. Ain't nobody from the board or the Glazers getting hold of Ollie and saying, Ollie, how come you're not coaching the players? How come you don't have a style of play? Because if you don't, that's consequences and you're out of a job. That is not happening. So when you say, oh, the board and the owners, we have to divorce them from what's happening. No. The manager, the coaching staff is accountable to the board and the owners. Simple as. Now, I've said my piece.
What I will say, and what Nuruddin's saying,
we all agree with that in terms of here comes Northern versus Flawless round 678, but it is what it is. We do agree with that in terms of we know the owners are held accountable. Are they giving Ollie the best possible resources to succeed? No. Are they giving him the best platform to succeed? No. So they're not good enough. They have to be held accountable. But what all we're asking for with Ollie is what you are working with, which is not the worst of the worst. What you are working with, use that, maximize it to the fullest. He's not doing that. If Ollie was maximizing what he had to the fullest and United were falling short, everybody's on side with it. Everyone's like, look, we know you are handicapped to a certain extent, but you are getting the most out of it. That's all I'm asking for. I'm asking him to use the resources to the fullest. We've seen this. You can see this. West Ham are fourth. West Ham are not the fourth best team in the league. They don't have the fourth best squad in the league. But what David Moyes is doing there is utilizing what he has to the fullest. You know what I'm saying? Villa are sixth in the league, seventh in the league. Villa are another example. Dean Smith is getting the best out of what he has. There's no perfect team. Even if you look at Manchester City, Pep doesn't have everything that he wants. You know what I'm saying? Pep doesn't have everything that he wants. You know what I'm saying? If you ask Pep, would you prefer an actual left back? He's going to say, yeah. You know what I'm saying? If you ask him, would you like an actual number 9, like a fit Aguero? He's taking that, but he doesn't have a fit number 9. He doesn't have a left back. So what he's doing is working around it. He's getting the very most out of it. Of course he is.
Actually, no, you know what? I don't even think that. I think Pep Guardiola is one of the only managers in the history of football, I'm talking about in the last 70 years, who's literally doesn't rate strikers. No striker did well on the Pep. First guy was Pep Guardiola, and obviously the guy that was, listen to me.
Aguero scored bare goals in the Pep. If Aguero's fit this season, he plays. Every season, he plays. So that's not the case.
Lewandowski was at Bayern, and Bayern have a structure. So they're saying, listen, this is what the player has to play, and you have to work with him. At City, Aguero plays. But Pep Guardiola, for the first time ever, always takes a chance of controlling the midfield. And that's why he plays the false 9, because he wants to control the midfielders, and especially the way they're playing. So the way the City team now, in the last 17, 16 games, they can happily all day play without striker. They don't need to, because the midfielders score the goal.
Yeah, but what I'm telling you is,
they create chances. They create chances, and they create loads of chances, and that's what they do. That's what they do.
No. But the thing is,
I'm gonna come to you two tonight. 1 minute, right? Let me just finish this. If you two are the board and the owner, so you're the board, you're the chairman, Flawless. JV, big up JV, is the owner of Man United. You're the owner, and you're the guy who's in charge. You're seeing what's happening. Me and Saeed are the coaches. I'm the manager. And you've seen, after 2 years of being there, 2 and a bit years being there, there's no style of play. You've got quite a mishmash of players. We've got 4 players, I think 3 midfielders who can't pass the ball, can't keep possession. And then you got 1 injuries and 1 guy who's out there, and 1 guy you didn't even want that the club bought for you.
Because you know what they'll say to him? You know what they'll say to him?
Listen to me.
No, but what they'll say to him is, why do you get the best out of him?
Be pissed off.
Why do you coach him though? That's what they'll say to him though.
No,
Nuruddin, don't reflect that. Nuruddin,
you're gonna call him, and they're gonna say, what the hell is this?
No, I'm not having that.
And then you're gonna come to me and go, what are you doing?
What's the purpose of a coach?
It's called accountability.
What's the purpose of a coach?
For you boys.
What's the purpose of a coach?
I can't spell, but I know.
What is the purpose of a coach, Nuruddin? You're almost down.
You know what?
Go on, JV.
You know what though?
Come on, man.
Nuruddin, I understand what you're saying, and it would count if we had owners who knew about football. Our owners don't know about football. You get what I'm saying? So that's why it don't. That's what it is. If we had owners who know about football, then what you're saying is right. But I honestly believe our owners don't know about football. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think they're going to question what he's doing really in that way. You get what I'm saying? They're probably just thinking they need to throw some more money at it or something, or you know what I'm saying? It's a weird one. But what you're saying is right. That's how other clubs probably are run. Do you get what I'm saying? But not us though, because our ones don't know about being owners of a club and actually knowing football.
Oh, sorry.
Now go on.
Yeah, go on, JV.
No, I was just saying then, I can't imagine no Glazers, having a footballing conversation about anything with Ollie or anything like that to that extent. in terms of tactics. I don't think they understand tactics. You know what I'm saying? Like last time, not the last time I was on it, one of the last times I was on it, we was talking about how they probably think there's, you know, playoffs and all them things at the end of the season. I honestly think that's their belief of football. I don't think they have a proper understanding of the game, or certain things or decisions or whatever that they've made in the past wouldn't have happened. Do you get what I'm saying? So what Norridin's saying is right, but just not for us how they are, because it's not going to happen. They cannot question Ollie. If Ollie says to him, 4-4-2, my man don't know what he's talking about, fam. Do you get what I'm saying? I don't think they know about football to that extent, so I don't think they can question Ollie tactically.
But JV, this is the Glazers' mouths. They know to go and get the best people to go and win them the bloody the Super Bowl. They know how to get the best people, though, don't they? They know how to hire the best people to go and buy, to go and do the job, to get them trophies. They do know that. They're not stupid.
Do you know why, fam? Because they're probably fans of that sport. We're an investment. That's what we need to remember. They're probably fans of that sport. They probably know that sport. Do you get what I'm saying? They don't know this. Or Norridin, I'm agreeing with what you're saying. I 100% agree with what you're saying.
Not in this context, though, because I want to concentrate on the game. And let me bring in
and I'm with you. Sorry to cut you off, Saeed. I'm with you. Like, I get what Norridin's saying. We know nobody I know is Glazers in, Woodward in. We all know they're not good enough. But it goes back to my original point of when it comes to Ollie, all we're asking him to do, all we want from any manager we have is to get the most out of your resources and do the best possible job. I don't think he's doing the best possible job. That's it. That's literally it.
Us moaning about Ollie ain't gonna solve shit, though.
Yeah, it is gonna solve shit. I want him out, mate.
Us moaning about
Ollie ain't going to. He'll get sacked. He'll get sacked.
Ollie is the easiest target.
He'll get
Ollie is
sacked.
the easiest target. When we know we got owners who don't see us as an investment, and we got Woodward who's paid.
He's staying.
He's not getting a new deal after this. I think he's gone in it. I think he won't be here forever.
Guys, one second. I just seen on Twitter that Timothy.
Ollie's been sacked.
Sorry, Timothy. No. Timothy Fosu-Mensah obviously came through the ranks of our academy and moved to Leverkusen. He tore his right anterior cruciate ligament yesterday. So,
man.
Yeah, man. You're sad news, man.
So gutted for him, man. I wish him a speedy recovery, bro.
You know, before I bring in Musa, Aaron, I just wanted to touch on what Norid is saying and kind of for me counterbalance the argument of context, man. Let's stick with the football. For me, I don't think anyone has a plan for the Glazers, man. I don't think so. Everyone talks the talk, but they don't want to walk the walk. That's what I'm being really, yeah. That's a real facts of the problem. In terms of
cowardice.
It's not cowardice, mate.
It's cowardice.
You know why it's cowardice, yeah? Because you know why?
Some people, it's easier to go for the bully,
But what's your plan with the Glazers? No one knows the plan, man.
For the big brother.
Nobody knows the plan with the Glazers, mate.
The fan base,
nobody knows the plan for the Glazers.
All the YouTube channels, I already said the solution. All the YouTube channels unite. All of the Twitter pages, Instagram pages, all over unite.
We're too disconnected.
But nobody wants to do that. Instead, people want to chat shit.
Yeah, because you know why? It's easy for me. It's easier. I'm playing into context, mate. I'm playing into context, Lord Aaron, man. The footballing decisions on the pitch, man. On the pitch. Hold on, Lordin, man. Hold on, Lordin.
Hold on. Ain't gonna do nothing if there's no accountability at this football club. It's something called accountability, Saeed. Accountability.
Okay, Lordin.
If you mess up in your job, you're getting pulled in by your line manager. Your line manager then speaks to the person that's running the business. Then that's how it goes. It's fact. That doesn't happen at Man United. Instead, you get rewarded. Man United, you get rewarded for failure. That's why Woodward is one of the highest paid CEOs in the world football. Simple.
Okay, give me 1 second, Lordin. You know what I mean? Aaron, you know what I mean? In terms of the kind of the disconnection, you know, someone says here, we are disconnected because of the manager, though. You know what I mean? It's not always just, you know what I mean, in terms of the Glazers and whatnot. The manager, for me, the footballing style, mate, it's disconnecting the whole fan base, mate.
This is what I'm saying. I hear what Nurdin is saying about the structure of the club, and he's been banging on about this for years now. You know what I mean? I know him, and I know he's a big advocate of having the right.
Yeah, listen, I know that already, man. I know that already.
But what I am saying is, right now, the thing we can judge, or the thing we have to judge, is the football on the pitch. We can't control we can't control what's happening at board level. That's not for us to go and try and resolve, because we can't do this. Do you see what I mean? Players can't always go into press conferences and give press conferences every single day. They have to train. They've got their families and stuff like that. So they just train and have to go home. And even if they do press conferences, it's not the same players every day. But what I am saying is this. Ollie is directly representing the players. When he does the press conferences, he's speaking on behalf of the players. He's a representation of the players. The same way what we see in matches is a representation of what's happening in training. It's the same way Ollie's representing the players when he does the presses. When he comes out and gives out all these outlandish statements, that is the mentality in the dressing room. I'm sorry to say it, but if your manager comes out, if we're all in a team right now, yeah, and I don't know, JV's putting a cross for me and I missed 5 big chances. Yeah, we played very bad. And in the dressing room, we all know, like, I'm speaking to JV, me and JV speaking like, yo, we played shit today, man. Oh, yeah, bro, I know, man. We should have done better today, man. This was a shit game. We should have done better. And then the manager comes out in the press conference, and I know people are going to say, yeah, he's trying to take away the heat from the team and all the... The manager comes out and says, no, JV and Aaron played well today. But me and JV just spoke in the dressing room talking about how shit we were. What's that going to tell me and JV? Fam, you know what? Next game, even if we play shit next game, yeah, Gaffer's going to come out and say we played well. So you might as well, we're not going to get... And this is where comes back what Nudin was saying. There's no accountability because we keep making the same mistakes again and again and again, and we actually get rewarded for it. Do you see what I mean? So therefore, because we're not learning from our mistakes, we have to learn the hard way. One part of that was against Leipzig, where everyone thought it was all, oh no, because of this mentality that everyone had. People were saying, oh, we only need to go to Leipzig. We only need to go to Leipzig and get a point. Like that's a given thing to go to Leipzig and get a point. What happened? We got exposed within 15 minutes. But I'm not going to talk about it. I'm talking about the accountability in our club. Because we don't want to hold people accountable, that's fine. Do you? But we're going to have to learn the hard way. Leipzig was the first part. The next part is coming. If we're not going to learn now, in the Europa League, we don't know what's going to happen against AC Milan. Everyone's talking about like AC Milan's a dead team. They're not, bro. They're not. We should take this game very, very serious. And yes, Zlatan's not playing in the first leg. But that doesn't mean that's a guarantee that we're going to win. Because these men still have good strikers. These men still have, what's that guy's name that used to play for Frankfurt? Ante Rebic. He's still a good striker. He's a good replacement for Ibrahimovic. And even if Ibrahimovic doesn't play, he's going to be back for the second leg. And that makes things even more sweeter for himself. Being injured in the first leg to play at the San Siro, but then being back for the second leg at Old Trafford. For you man think this guy's not going to be motivated to come and score at Old Trafford? Are you mad? He's probably going to come out with a quote and say, I still have to finish what I started. Some shit like that. He's probably going to come out with that. Do you see what I mean? So,
can I just say, Aaron, can I just say this point? Just the last point on this, right?
Yeah, go on.
When Ollie comes out and says, I do not coach the players, there was the idea of me wasting all my energy on critiquing Ollie was finished.
But this is when
he literally said, I don't coach the players.
But this is my point. You can
How
say
do you
that.
get
That's
away with
fine.
that though?
Wait, Saeed, wait. This is my point. You can come out as a coach and admit that you're not coaching the players. That's one thing. Another thing is humbling yourself and recognizing that you can't do it by yourself. Steve Bruce, he's not the best coach. We're all seeing what he's doing to Newcastle. But man was humble enough to say, listen, I can't do this. He brought someone else in that's better at tactics. Yeah? What has Ollie done? He goes and brings in his mates, his former teammates, Darren Fletcher, Kieran McKenna. I don't know if he ever played for United, but Kieran McKenna. It's brethrens, bro. People that are not going to hold him accountable. If I'm not good at my job...
He did what we would do in that, innit? If I'm the manager and I'm hollering at, yeah, you man, come get this bag in that. You know what I'm saying? That. You just brought in the man there. You know what I'm saying? That. Just brought in the man there, innit? You know what I'm saying?
You know what, yeah?
This is why I criticize Ollie.
You just summed it up. Yeah. No accountability.
This is where my criticism comes in. It's one thing to acknowledge or to say that you're not coaching a team. That's fine. But at least be honest with yourself. Honest enough with yourself that you're going to say, all right, cool, I need some help here, some proper help. Like I said yesterday on Manta's channel, my little brother still lives in Belgium, innit? Shout out to my little brother, Samuel. He's watching me right now, probably, because I always send him all the streams that we do. So shout out to my little brother. He's 17. He's 17 right now, yeah? That's like Samuel coming with me to a rave, and I'm asking him how to draw gal. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
If
exactly.
anything, I have to show him.
Yeah.
I'm 10 years older than him. I
You know
have to
what?
show him.
Well, that's a brilliant analogy. And you know what? Yeah. And Musa, I'm going to bring you this here. Yeah. We know the Glazers are you know what I mean? They're the problem. And Nordin is absolutely spot on, yeah. But another problem is, yeah, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And the way, for me, I look at the level of football, yeah. If Mourinho or Van Gaal played that type of football, honestly, man, they would have got absolutely crucified, mate. And when you look at it, yeah, you know, people look at second, yeah, as if it's a glory hunting, and we're almost like, you know, it's a wonderful achievement. Yes, on paper it is, and it's good for Ole that you can say that it's second in the league. But you know, is it just a true reality of, you know what, we are nowhere near, you know, where you're supposed to be and aspire to be the top and Man City, man. Let's be honest with yourself, bro.
Yeah, you know what it is? We got so much issues at United, and a lot of them do stem from where Nouraddine's talking about when it comes to the head. So like, since Alex Ferguson left, which one of those managers that's come in at Old Trafford has been a Man United type of manager? From how many have we had now? 5? We had who? We had my man from Everton.
Moyes.
Then we had Moyes. Yeah. Then we had Giggs for a bit. Then we had Van Gaal. Then we had Mourinho. Then we've had Ole. So from those managers that we look at that they brought in, the board has brought this in, Woodward has brought them in. Which one of those managers would we say would have been our first choice manager? Because I know nobody wanted Moyes. LVG, it wasn't my first choice. He's not the manager that I wanted. Mourinho, I never wanted him at Old Trafford. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was meant to come and flip and stabilize the plane in the air. And as soon as it landed, he was meant to keep it moving. So none of these managers for me have been Man United managers that I wanted in the club. So again, we're looking at who's bringing these type of people in. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So the only problem I have with, as crap as Ole is, Ole's not even a manager. He's a supervisor. Man have to give him his proper title. He's a supervisor. Wow. Man have to stop calling him manager. Wow. He's Manchester United supervisor. He is supervising. You know what I'm saying?
Supply teacher is accurate. Supply teacher is accurate. Yeah. Because there is no accountability in the class. Everyone just does what they want.
Yeah, because he's still talking about the gaffer. Like someone told me the other day, they think that Alex Ferguson's coaching from up there. Wow. You know, he's always watching. Someone they said I swear Alex is coaching and telling him what to do. That's why he's just sitting on the tablet. Alex is just giving him bare WhatsApps. Like, listen. Right. So my thing is that Ole, he's not coaching the players like he said. Ole's like, he's just supervising. He's good at morale. Come on, lads. This is Man United. Like, come on, lads. You're working for the biggest company in the world.
All love but no guidance, man.
All love, no guidance. Yeah, so he's hyping it. He's talking the talk, but he's not really doing anything but supervising a club. If Man United was telling me that if we had any type of signal that Ole was not going to stay here after this season, and this was his last season, and they were just going to let him stabilize the club, get us maybe second or third in the league again, and that Man United had any credibility of sourcing good managers, I think we'll be much more relaxed as a fan base. All of us will be relaxed. But again, what's causing us anxiety and what's not allowing us to relax and kind of, just enjoy where we are now? Because look, it's been a long time since we've been anywhere to where we are today, since Jose. And when we were under Jose, yes, Ole's football's bad, but it's not as bad as Jose Mourinho's. Jose Mourinho actually took the piss.
Is it far off? It's not far off.
My thing is, but we have more good days in terms of when we do turn up and we see some type of play than we did with Jose Mourinho. The problem I have with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and it's not even with Ole, the problem I don't have faith.
Shout out Malcolm showing love in the chat and that. Yeah, I just wanted to say that. Big up to Malcolm and that, you know what I'm saying? Love hands for the girl. I know what this guy put love hands for the girl in a minute.
It's not even here, fam.
Big up Sophie at that.
Big up Sophie.
So my thing is that I don't have no faith in the ball to think, you know what, Ole's going to finish maybe second in the league. They're going to get rid of him and they're going to bring in a credible manager. Because even if they get rid of Ole, which I want them to do, on the basis of the last 7-8 years since Alex Ferguson, who has this board brought in? Like, who have we? Like, everyone's speaking about the Leipzig manager. We When have we ever gone in for that type of manager? When? When have we looked at someone young, up and coming?
It'll probably be gigs after this. It'll probably be gigs after this.
That's what I'm saying. So we're gonna be going for gigs.
Musa, even if he comes in without the help and the plan and the structure that's there to help him, he's still a young manager in experience as well. So
100%.
even if we got him, what is he going to work? Like I said, all of us are begging. JV's right, you're right, Aaron's right, Flawless right, everybody's right. Nobody's disagreeing on what's happening. For me, the days I start blaming Ollie, when Ollie says he doesn't even do the coaching, that to me says a lot, right? That says a lot to me, because I actually thought Ollie was doing the coaching and that the players he was getting through to the way of playing. But I just want to bring a different argument here, because obviously we're all coming down hard on Ollie. We've got one of the most impressive, even though I hate
you're in it saying hello and that.
Hi guys.
Yeah. Say that.
These people. So we've got, I think this season we've got the best away record in terms of, like, we're still unbeaten away from home. I look at some things, but when I look at this, I don't want to see Jose. I don't want to see even LGB, because I think LGB could have been the guy if the club backed him properly. So if LGB could have fixed it, why are people laughing at, man? What's going on here?
I don't know, man. This guy, everyone just lost the composure, like, you get me? But
You know what, Musa? That's why it's hard for me and you in it as the elder statesman in this podcast, bro. Because we're literally, I'm telling you,
I don't know what's going on there. Why the fuck
I don't know, man.
Lose composure like nobody. These men fall apart, bro. Their chairs are moving, bro.
They're moving like Maguire. Moving like Maguire.
They start like shaking and stuff. Man.
That's Maguire. That's Maguire. No composure.
No. These men strictly. I know that people have been social distancing and all that, and I know that most of you guys have been, especially the youngest, you've been adhering to the rules, but you need to stay calm, always calm and composed, man. So my point is this: that I think has Ollie bought better football than Jose Mourinho? Yes. Has Ollie got better players than Jose Mourinho currently at Man United? Yes.
Massively.
Yeah.
Is he doing better? Is he doing hold on. Is he doing good with what he's got? Answer the question. Is he doing good with what he's got?
At the end of the day, has he come to his ceiling? At this moment in time, when I look at the football structure of Man United, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has come to his ceiling. There is no way. He's done what he had to do.
That's what we're talking about.
He's done what he had to do. And there's no
Let's give him a
plan.
clap, people, yo. Clap him on, yo. Big clap, man,
There
for
is
the
no
people.
plan. And you know what? You know the managers doing at the same. I'm telling you now, I promise you now, and I say it again, and I've been saying it for 2 years. No other manager, other than even Pep Guardiola, will struggle under this club. Even Klopp will struggle in this club. We might win some. Poch might win a couple of games, but then it'll be inconsistent FC. And the reason why I'm on about structure, the reason why I go on about it so much, is because when you're a football club, you have a 4-year plan, 5-year plan. Then you revise it after 2 to 3 years. Then you look at it and go, right, what are we learning? Are we doing this wrong? Are we doing this right? Is the recruitment right? Is the playing squad right? Do we have listen, Man United are only, I think, out of the top 9 clubs in Europe, Man United are the only club. I always say it. Everton, Leicester City, Wolverhampton, when it comes to Man United, are nobodies.
Yeah.
But they all have a better footballing structure than us. That
100%.
is a fact. That is a fact. So we can scream, we can all go Ollie in, Ollie out, Ollie this. To me, when those words came out of Ollie's mouth, I don't do the coaching. And there was no accountability after that.
I get what you're saying, Doridin, in terms of that. But again, it comes back to my original point. Even with these owners at charge, with 2 managers we wanted out, we still managed to win trophies. You know what I'm saying? And that they were still, even though the football was bad, we still had a style and whether we liked it or not, it was a clear thing. So can we be successful and dominate over a long period of time with these owners? To me, absolutely not. That's not what I'm saying.
No, we cannot.
I'm agreeing with you. That's what I just said.
Yeah.
I don't think we can.
But are we ever going to get that on after Sir Ferguson, though, guys? Are we ever going to get that?
I've always said it.
All I want is to be in the. I just want to be in the race. I just want to be in the race. That's it.
Under this column structure, Man United ain't sniffing league, and ain't sniffing no Champions League semi-finals with this under the structure. So
Right.
we're begging for, as Man United fans, we're begging for a genius like Fergie. Like JV said, these men don't know anything about football. Woodward and don't know anything about football. All of the
I'll take the
people
League Cup right now,
at Man United have no clue. So we're begging for them to fluke it, find a guy who can get us playing decent football, and we could go on now and again, go to a League Cup final, go to a Europa League final, and maybe win a trophy, go to an FA Cup final. But as far as the league is concerned, and as far as Champions League is concerned, you need to have a proper, absolute structure.
Let me ask the question. JV, I'm going to ask you the question first, and I'll go around to everyone. Look at it. You know, the points we lost this season is equivalent to the points that is separating us from Man City. You know, in terms of, I think Musa, you said it, didn't you? 11 points or 12 points. We dropped points here. When you look at when Lord talks about structure of football, isn't that just down to management? You know, them kind of points we lost at home to West Brom, Sheffield United, the lack of know-how to go forward, the lack of kind of urgency to win the game, mate. You know, sometimes you can say football is structure. You know,
but you know why Noradin's always right? Because the fact that we have this manager is down to structure. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The fact that we have Ollie in place to make these points, to make these mistakes, and to make these silly decisions is down to the structure that we have in board, because Ollie has been able to stay in charge as a supervisor and get this time, and a lot of luck has fallen into that, because the fact that we haven't had no fans for nearly 2 years. If Ollie had fans in the stadium, listen, as much as Woodward and all of that are on a hype, they can't deal with real pressure of the fans. They can't deal with it. Boos, people walking out, us being headlines. The fans have had enough. The fans are walking out early at Old Trafford.
Yeah. All right, then imagine that 6-1 and the fans were there for him. Just imagine that.
He wouldn't survive. He wouldn't have survived. And there was a serious period in this season where they thought about getting Poch in and sacking Ollie. There was a serious point where they thought, and that was with no fans. So I'm telling you, with fans, Ollie wouldn't have survived. But the problem we find again is that the type of managers that we're trying to go for, and not everyone's talking about Nagelsmann, is that when have we gone in for that type of manager? Because I agree, we need a manager who understands this new market, who is able, because one thing I always say to people is that as much as people disrespect the Glaziers, Manchester United has spent money, and in the right market, that there are players in that market that are excellent players that Man United could have bought. They could have bought Partey in that market for 40-something million. They could have bought, my man that's on the right at flipping Chelsea. It came from Ajax as well. What's his name again? Ziyech for around 40. They got Van der Beek in for 40. They got Bruno in for 40. There are players around the 40 and 50 million pound mark. When Man United come in the summer with around 150 million to spend, and also offloading players, we always spend around 150 there or thereabouts. Next spend about 80 million. But there are players in that market with the right manager who understands this new market, who would get himself a good, strong team. That being said, we don't go in for those type of managers. So we don't go in for I haven't seen it. As soon as Ollie went, as soon as Alex Ferguson went, he went and bought his brethren in, David Moyes. They just thought to themselves, if you're Scottish, you must be able to do the job. You know what I'm saying? They knew nothing about football. They said, let's get another Scotsman in. He came in, under pressure, he went. Then they thought, who's doing a thing? Let's get an OG in again, like Alex Ferguson. They went to LVG. He done bits in the World Cup. They thought, let's get another OG in. Nothing happened. Then they said, who used to terrorize us? This is the board, they're thinking like man them. Then they thought, what team used to terrorize Alex Ferguson? Oh yeah, Jose Mourinho's Chelsea with Jose. Let's go and get that man in. They got Jose in. Nothing's going on, because we realized as a fan base that the Jose of then had changed. Like Jose, after Real Madrid, Jose was like, he was traumatized. He had real trauma, and he didn't go and see the therapist. He went straight into another job. Like Real Madrid traumatized him.
He didn't come and see me, bro. He didn't come and see me.
He didn't come and see no. Nah, he went straight into another job. Like he hasn't been the same since Real Madrid dealt with him differently. Jose Mourinho hasn't been the same since Real Madrid. We knew that as a fan base. Man United went and got him in again. Then we got rid of him, and we've got. So I don't see this record of Man United ever going in for a manager like Nagelsmann. These type of young players, managers, Poch. We don't go in for those managers. You know what I'm saying? We always go in for the OG, someone who's done it, and that's all we've gone in for. We went in for Alex Ferguson's brethren, who was Scottish. Moyes, he didn't do it. Then we went in for a couple OGs who we think are seasoned and they know what they. So the fact that all these young managers are able to get these young, they're able to go in for the party, like I said, at 40 million. Van der Beek, there are players there. So for me, I don't think it's a money thing for Man United. I think if you get the right manager in, there are players in this market around 40 to 50 million pounds with a proper footballing side.
I agree with you. I agree with you, but I also disagree. The Glazers have spent over $1 billion and a quarter or $1.5 billion close to, okay? But let me tell you, there are people who won the lottery, mans who won 20 million who haven't got a piss to pot on today. Do you know why? Because they don't know what they're doing, right? You're going to spend money, but if you don't got the right people who don't know what they're doing to go and spend that money, to me, the biggest decision Man United made was the worst decision. It's decision when Fergie goes, we are still, you know what I called us back in the day? Ricochet FC. Imagine a bullet come through, innit? Bullet, man fire a gun, and the ricochet, we're still ricochet. That ricochet, we're still feeling the ricochet of that bullet. So that firing, 6-year contract for David Moyes. On what planet? If they ever spoke to one fan, they would have been like, David Moyes might have got an interview if he was lucky on the Fergie's suggestion. That's how close he would have been to Man United's job. Just an interview, first interview, not just a second, first interview, and see you later.
Yeah,
Man United, we have to accept that. When I accepted it, when I started talking about structure, when I finally accepted it, my life was a bit at peace. And yesterday, watching that game, there was aspects of it. I thought, yeah, we pressed all right, but out of the top 6 games in the top 6 teams that we play, I know what's gonna happen. That's why Saeed, when I spoke to him a couple of days before, was telling me, Nuruddin, 0-0 or a 1-0. If it's gonna be 1-0, I thought Chelsea were gonna come out and smash us. The point what I'm saying to you, we can never disassociate the manager, the current manager, as Musa called him, the supervisor, which is a bit harsh. But at the end of the day, he's learning on the job. He's learning on the job. He's getting some things right, but he can't get the right things right because the behind him, the help, the structure, the accountability, all of that's not there. No way. If I own Man United, am I ever going to hire
Yeah, man, we got to dip in it. Obviously, we got to get ready, set up this radio thing with it. But Saeed, each and every time, love for having us on. Musa, Aaron, Big
always,
never changing that. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, my last words on this. I just want to see the manager try and win games in that. You know what I mean? I just want some creative chances, some shots on target. That's all I want. We could go park and do that as a 5-a-side team. You know what I'm saying? Well, it is what it is.
He doesn't coach the players, though, bro. He doesn't coach the players. That's what I'm saying to you. The argument, as soon as he said, I don't coach the players, the argument was done. I can't hold him accountability on how we play anymore. Because he said he doesn't coach the players.
But he's giving them instructions. He's picking the team.
There you go, then. You know what I mean?
He's picking the team.
He's picking the
team. One thing is this.
When you coach...
And you're having back and forth with the coaches as well. Ollie's surely giving the coaches instructions as well. That man ain't coaching. Ollie doesn't see him and he's picking him up on the weekend.
The fact that Ollie's
we gotta go. Big up to you, man. Yeah, love.
JV, make sure to check out my radio.
Yeah, shout out to the man them. The fact that Ollie has made McTominay and Fred starters, and we don't question it no more. Like everyone picks their team and just lands them two in the middle of midfield. Tells us where we're at. Like everyone just goes like, yeah, I'll pick him. McTominay or Fred's got to play, and then who else is gonna? Okay, Bruno. Like we've even to the point where
every big game as well, Musa. Lindelof and Maguire play in every big game.
So this is Ollie, and this is Ollie. Ollie has made Paul Pogba droppable, but flipping Maguire and these men are not droppable. How the heck is Maguire not droppable, but Paul Pogba is droppable? How the heck has he made an £80 million defender who costs 10 million less than a World Cup winner who we suffer when he doesn't play? He can be dropped and moved out of position for the betterment of the team. But this £80 million defender who has done nothing can't be dropped. This is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Then Ole shows us that he can recognize form. He can recognize a player who comes into the team and has form and keep him in there in Dan James. He can recognize that because that's why he's done it. So he's recognized, Dan James, you've come in the team, you've shown some form, you scored 3 and 4, all of that. You know what? I'm going to keep you in the team. How about Eric Bailly then? When he comes in and shows form, he can't stay in the team. Why go on for Eric Bailly? Why can't? But you can't recognize form with Eric Bailly. You take him out for Lindelof. What the heck is going? So Ollie's shown us that one, he's stubborn, and two, he has favourites.
Yes.
But he said that. But he's honest about that, Musa. He's honest about that. Aaron, you heard him say in one of the interviews, I can be stubborn. I know I'm stubborn. He plays closer to our face.
And favourites. He's got favourites. Dan James is his favourite. Flipping Lindelof, Maguire, McTominay. Nah. And that's long. And all of those men there, Maguire, Lindelof, all of his favourites are benched at Man City and are benched at Liverpool. They're benched. His favourites are bench players. And you know why? You know why they're his favourites? Because they remind him of him. He was a bench player, blood. And he used to cut. So it just reminds him of him coming up in the game, thinking, raw, I know how it feels to be on the bench. You need a chance. Let me give these men. No, brother, this is not the place to be trying to...
Isn't it? There's a lot of sentiment involved.
Sentiment. It's long.
Yeah. Let me bring Aaron into this, man. You know what I mean? Like what Moses says there, absolute facts, mate. And there was a comment there, 12 years in the job, man. How can you be learning on a job? And that's why for me, I look at, I know what I mean, and I look at the structure and whatnot. You know, regardless of the structure, man, is he a good manager for Manchester United Football Club? Regardless of the structure. Hold on. I'm asking Aaron. Let me ask Aaron for this one.
What I'm
regardless of the structure, regardless of everything going on, yeah. Even if he gave him, hold on. Let me finish it.
At this level, Ollie's got zero experience. Mulder Cardiff, yes. At this level, that's a difference.
Yeah, and that's why I'm discussing it. Listen, I'm discussing it. What I want to try and say to you, forget everything. I just look at it and think, you bring Sancho, you bring all these players, man. Has Ollie got the credentials, the tactical nous, Aaron, yeah? To manage these players, bro, and to tactically get them playing to the level of Man United standard. Has he got that?
I don't think he does because as much as because he's been in management for over 10 years now, and I think if you want to learn on the job, that's fair enough, but don't learn on the job at Manchester United, man. Don't learn on the job at Man United. If you want to learn on the job, go to, I don't know, no disrespect to any of the clubs I'm going to name, but like a West Brom, go to like a...
He went to Cardiff and he got relegated. He did. He went to learn on his job and he got relegated.
Yeah.
So that just tells me everything I need. That tells me everything I need to know. And the fact that we're allowing a manager to come in and say, yeah, but he's learning on the job. Well, listen, if this was a foreign manager that was in management for 2 years and people would use that excuse, people would have never accepted it. But we accept it because there's this sentimental attachment to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer because he used to play for us. And this is what I keep saying. Like, you have to be able to separate Ole the manager from Ole the ex-player. They're not the same. As a player, he did great things for us. He's a legend, and I fully agree. I will never deny it. But as a manager, he's just not good enough, man.
That's it.
Are we in a... Sorry, let me ask Musa. Are we really in a false position? You know what I mean? Let's be real, man. Are Man United in a false position?
Yeah, we're in a false position, and the reality is this. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer came into Man United in an emergency. Yes. In an emergency, anyone's good, you know. Because if someone collapses on the street, heart attack, whatever, you know first aid. You're not a doctor, but this is an emergency. Your first aid to this person is the difference between them saving their lives or not. Whatever you've learned, you apply that first aid. You might be a trainee nurse, a trainee, whatever. Once you apply that first aid and you stabilize that person, you're not the person that's going to be picked to carry out the operation to get them better. You're just there for the moment. Man United was in an emergency. Ole came in to stabilize the ship. What made and this is why I know already says it again, what made this board come to the decision that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was fit enough to take on Man United, the organization, the football club, that everything that comes with it, only they know how they made that decision. Do you know what I'm saying? We don't know how they made that decision. They've gone and made a silly decision like that. They've put Ollie in place, knowing, because my thing is this, and we've spoken about this before. If you're going to give Ollie that position, then also give him the best number 2. But don't give him the position and let him bring all of his bridges in. Flipping it, bro. What are you doing? Do you know what I'm trying to say? Give him the best number 2.
Not even that, Musa.
Let Aaron read that super chat.
It's also providing a footballing director, having a structure for this manager that's inexperienced at this level, for him to fully thrive. But what do? They backed him one summer, didn't back him afterwards. They backed him one transfer, all the other transfer they didn't back him, and guess what they did? They bought a player he did not want. He wanted Grealish, and they gave him Donny van der Beek. Hence why Donny van der Beek doesn't play.
I'm not believing that. I'm still not believing.
No, don't believe that, man. No, it didn't. Bloody hell, man. I get Sancho. But not Grealish, man. He didn't want Grealish.
It's not even a secret. Man United wanted Grealish. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer asked for he asked for a midfield player. He asked for a midfield player, and then he asked for a right winger, and they said no. And we all know, because it's not just him. Moyes didn't get the players. Van Gaal comes out still to this day and says, all the players I asked for, they gave me the 4th choice. I will ask for number 1, and they give me no, we can get number 4 out of the 4 picks. So you get 4 picks out of this. Get me that, and they'll go, we'll get you that one on the list, right?
Can you bring back the super chat?
Yeah, I'm gonna bring that super chat. Let Aaron read that super chat back out. You know, I mean, shout out to Yasser Saeed, by the way.
Mr. Aaron, how are we second in the league? Of our players are not good enough, and our manager isn't good enough. How are we second? We're second because we've got players in our squad that can make the difference at any given moment in certain games. That's why we're second. We got second by playing it safe against the bigger teams and beating the other teams, which has worked and up until now. But what I'm telling you is this, Yasir, yeah, it's not going to work the whole season, because eventually you're going to have to beat the big teams. You have to. Right now, I'm telling you, yeah, because even the smaller teams were bottling it. We drew against West Brom away. We drew against what's it called? We lost to Sheffield United at home, and this is why we're still second. And we're lucky that we're still second. Because
how many points have we picked up, Aaron, in the last 5?
In the last 5, I couldn't tell you. But let me check.
4 or 5. But I'll come to that. One of the other
my thing is this. So what Aaron is saying there as well quickly is that if you look at our last 4 or 5 games or 6, that's not top 2 form.
So 3, 4.
The rest
we're
of the best
second now.
We are the best of the. We are the best of a bad bunch.
But Saeed, I kept telling you boys when you were hyping up at top of the league. I kept saying to you, 2 games, 3 games.
If we keep that form, we're not going to stay second.
Listen,
can I finish my point? Please? Can I finish my point? Yeah. 10 points in the last 7 games. Okay, cool. What I'm trying to finish my point, and I'll let Nudin go. We're second at the moment, yeah, but that's not something to be proud of, because Leicester are breathing down our necks with 1 point behind us.
Yep.
Somehow West Ham are 4th. They're breathing down our necks as well. Don't think because we're second that we're going to stay there, because we've got Palace on Wednesday, which is not going to be an easy game. Then we've got Man City, and personally, I don't see who's going to stop these guys, and I don't think it will be us.
I think it'll be a nil-nil.
And yeah, that's what I'm settling for.
What are you talking about? Nil-nil.
No, we're going to play it safe, Nordin. We're going to play it safe again. And if anything, they'll just
City are not going to play it safe. City are coming to put the hammer in.
We'll play 5 at the back.
We're going to play it safe. We're going to play it safe, not them.
We're going to concede, bro. Trust me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. We'll play it safe against Man City. But what I'm trying to say is, Leicester breathing down our necks, 1 point behind us. And if we think that we can just go to the big teams or play against the big teams by just playing it safe and then we'll still stay second, it's not going to happen, people. So please do not be surprised. Do not start slandering the players and say, oh, this guy's shit and this guy's shit, when we, if hopefully we win against Palace. If we don't, Leicester already go above us, because they'll probably win their next game. Even though they're depleted with injuries, they'll still find a way, because, and I've got to give credit to Leicester, injuries everywhere, but you haven't heard them complain once. Not once. If this was our case, we would be using that as an excuse all over the place.
Let me ask you lot something quickly. Do you lot think?
There's anyone just after that? So 1 second. So Aaron, the thing that was pointed to you is also because of the way the Corona's done madness. That's got something to do with it. That's why you see the table the way it is.
Yeah,
That's
this season
why
is
for the
different.
for the first time in the history of the Premier League, you had so many teams on top at each time. You had 4 or 5 different teams on top. That's why
you even had Southampton top of the league.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying to you. So what I'm saying to you, even though that was the beginning of the season, I'm just saying we had 5 or 6 different league top of the league team and leaders. And the reason why is it is time to rest every three days. There's a game. All of that is added to it. And that's why when people put the 2 records together, because I think it's quite impressive, I will only ever count one season and look at the stats for that season. I don't count the 2 seasons together. And the reason why, when everybody was on here a couple of months ago, when we were top of the league, people get, but we're on form. And I kept saying, I'll jump on the bandwagon because I know that.
Big up Joe, by the way. Big up Joe.
Top 4. We've always been fighting for the top 4. Soon as that club didn't back Ollie in the summertime, we didn't get the players. And the biggest thing for me would be, if Ollie had the players that he asked for, I would be on here. And after 2 years here, and I always said to you, I've already said this Ollie in on the out business is meaningless, because at the end of the day, I'm not the one who to pull the trigger. I'm not the board. I'm not the Glazers.
Can I ask you a question, Odin? What do you with another 200 million?
Let me just finish this point. This point quickly, right? That's why that reason Ollie in, Ollie out, because accountability at this club. When Ollie says he doesn't coach the players, alarm bells go off in my brain. Alarm bells go off. And I think, what the hell is going on? And I look at it, I think, is there the structure to help a guy like Ollie, who Musa, according to Musa, says he is a supervisor, or a guy who's basically what they call it, defibs, defibs. Somebody's having a heart attack. Man United were having a heart attack on the Jose. Ollie was the guy who got the defib, brought us back to life, right? After that, there was no plan, absolute zero plan. And I just want to, especially the young viewers, I know it's easier. It's the easiest thing to go manage it out because we can't get rid of 45 players. But I'm just trying to say to you, the idea that Woodward and the rest of the board can make the decision to hire and sack the 5th manager at Man United is abysmal to me, because there is nothing on their record
it will happen,
that's telling me, that's going to tell me they're going to get the next guy right. And we're going to be happy. And we're going to be challenging for the league. If the basics behind doesn't work, if the structure behind the first team and the club between the board and the owners doesn't fix up, we ain't going to be. And the reason why Man United are where we are, I always knew, because I always knew these players, our squad, is sometimes there's a lot of imbalance. There are players there who's on bigger contract who shouldn't be there. Then the manager has to make favorites. So Ollie's stubbornness now is hampering us, because he's stubborn.
You don't know. Why are you thinking long term then? If you still believe that the structure's wrong, then why are you looking long term? If you believe the structure's wrong, why are you looking long term?
So you know what Man United have? Man United, I know already. Every fan knows. Man United out of the top 4 spend money. Man United are in the top 4, spend no money. That's how it's always been.
So that's what I'm trying to say to you then. Should we be looking at
looking at the form that we've been in, guys? I don't think we're gonna make top 4. You guys think it's a joke?
I feel we'll make top 4.
Listen, all right, cool. With the games that's left,
without trophies.
Listen to this.
Without trophies.
Listen, I'll be honest. I've got 10 points from the last 7 games. Listen to the form. If we pick up 10 points in the next 7 games, you think we're still top 4?
No, obviously not then, no.
This is what I'm trying to say. So what's making you feel... So my thing is,
I think we'll beat recently... I think we'll beat the lesser teams, though.
Okay, if we don't beat Palace, we lose to City. We need to pick up more than 3 points in our next 2 games. If we don't beat Palace, and we draw,
we'll beat Palace.
We lose to City. My thing is this, my thing is...
No, let him finish.
No, because everyone thinks that Liverpool's out of the top 4 or something.
No, they're not.
My thing is this, Jurgen Klopp is a seasoned manager, bruv. What if he clicks into gear tomorrow? If he clicks Liverpool into gear again from their last win, Liverpool are capable of winning 5, 6, 7 games in a row. Winning. Not Man United are capable of not losing 5, 6, 7 games in a row, but we're not capable of winning. There's a difference. So Ollie goes and win. draws 5 games in a row and picks up 5 points and think he's a genius. We're undefeated. Where a team goes and loses 2 and wins 3 and picks up more points than us. They've lost 2, but they've won 3. They've picked up more points. They're ahead of us in what's moving forward. That's what's wrong with Oli.
Musa, that's why when we were top of the league, I was thinking about the top 4, bro. I wasn't talking about no league or sustaining there. I was always saying about the top 4. And I said it to people. I'll jump on the bandwagon because I know the longer we stay around there, and I said it even then, if Man United drop 6 points, we lose 2 losses in the Premier League, we can find ourselves out of the top 4. And that is fact. And also, I want to say, Tottenham are not out of it completely. Till it's matter.
They're not.
Chelsea are not out of it. Chelsea are not out of it. Liverpool are not out of it.
6 points off the top 4 with a game in hand. That's Tottenham. Tottenham's got a game in hand and they're like 6 points off the top 4.
Let me see this top 4 race. Let me see.
So my thing is this. Let me tell you who's trying to get into top 4. Chelsea's manager did not leave PSG, but he promised to get them in the top 4. Chelsea want top 4. Liverpool, whatever you think, they want top 4. City's winning the league, and Leicester are going to refuse to let what happened last year happen this year. We're fighting for the top 4 with Liverpool, Chelsea, and Leicester and Tottenham. Don't think we're not in a title race. We're in a top 4 race, and there's other teams around us who are like Chelsea are trying their best to get into this top 4. They're not out of it. Leicester are not trying to drop.
Arsenal's completely out of it.
Yeah, Arsenal are gone, but Chelsea, Leicester, and Liverpool, and Man United. One of us is not making top 4.
And Spurs, don't forget Spurs, bro.
Spurs are in there. They're
under pressure as well.
Let me check now.
Spurs are gonna unsettle it, but there are 4 teams there in Chelsea, Liverpool, Leicester, and Man United who want top 4. One of them's not going to make it. So when I look at Leicester, Chelsea, Liverpool, it's easy to get carried away and think that Man United have got this. We're all right. We've got this.
I agree with you 100%.
But all of them to me have better managers. And they have good squads and good teams. So I don't know what's going on. Because I think Liverpool are going to make their way back into this top 4. And that's it. And then it's going to be...
It's gone. It's
Chelsea and I'm telling you, in the next 7 games.
Are you there, bro?
Yeah, it's gone. Saeed, what can you see at Arsenal completely?
Let me get the super chat. Let me get the super chat. Would you guys prefer to miss out top 4 if you meant Oli would get the sack? Not really, mate, because I feel like I support my United first, mate. You know what I mean? Like, I'll be honest with you, man. I'm not really with that.
It's not about the sack for me. It's not about the sack.
For me, it's about the sack. I want him sacked, mate. I want him sacked. But not at the expense of Man United, though. Not at the expense of Man United. Because we need top 4. Let's be honest.
If Oli was coaching,
we get top 4, then we sack him. That's what I do.
I would completely not. I just don't want to be in Europa League. I just don't want to be. But next year we'll get top 4.
Listen, what's the point of being in the Champions League, though? What's the point of being in the Champions League if we get out, though? We get out,
and then we'll get to Europa League again.
What's the point of being in the Champions League, guys? If you just go out, what's the point?
We'll become the new Arsenal, Blake. Because Saeed, I'm sorry, but I'll have to take it back there. That's the club's ambition. What is the ambition? What is the philosophy
not
of this
really,
club?
Not really, though. Not really, because you know why? Did the owners say... No, hold on, man. I don't like that argument. Because I'm going to stop you there, Nuruddin. Did the owners say get 1 point out of 3?
Listen, the facts don't care about your feelings, bro. The facts don't care about your feelings.
No, but I'm asking you the question, though. I'm asking you the question. Did the owners say... That's what, you're not answering the question. You're not answering the question, Dan. Did the owners say get 1 point out of 3?
No, I'm just saying to you, the owners spend money that what we know so far.
You can't win the argument. You can't win the argument, though.
What does the fact tell us? The fact tell us when we're out of the Champions League, we lose sponsorships. Then they spend money, then we get sponsorships back if we make it the next season after to back into the Champions League.
Not with this Corona, man. Not with this Rona.
Saeed, I'm sorry to say, the facts don't care about your feelings, my feelings, Aaron's feelings, Musa's feelings. They don't. The facts are there. Glazers spend money and splash big money and cash when United are not in the Champions League.
Why would you give Musa? Why would you give any money to this manager with a yearless contract?
I wouldn't, but Ollie's already had. How much has Ollie already had?
300 million. 300. He had 300 million, man. That's a
He's
lot of money.
already had
That's
it.
what I'm saying. How much more money do you want, bro?
How much more money do you want, man, Noridian, man? He's had a lot of money.
Listen,
Come on,
you know
man.
why I sack Oli?
Can I say something? Richard Arnold, Matt Judge, and Edward Wood are buying the players. Facts.
Yeah,
You know why I sack Oli? You know why I sack Oli? I sack Oli on two things. He doesn't coach, he's stubborn, and he has crap favourites. That's why I sack Oli. Nothing else. He doesn't coach, he has crap favourites, and he's stubborn. That's the only reason. And that's enough for me.
Yeah, let me ask Aaron, man, before we kind of wrap up this podcast. It's been a crazy podcast. By the way, we've got 500 people here, man. Only 268 likes. Let's get that 400 likes, people, man. We'll give you one of the best Man United podcasts there is, man. Raw and it's passionate, but we give it you. Aaron, man, you know, when you look at the end of the season, man, you know what I mean? Do you have any faith in the manager to win a trophy? Now, that's, for me, sorry, 1 second. We've got a super chat here from Farhia. She said, Saida, spot on. We need Ollie gone. Thanks for the show. Big up Farhia. A big up everybody who's watching right now.
If we don't make top four, I'm in London. I can't look at Arsenal fans again. If we don't make anything.
Trust me, man. You know,
listen, if we don't make top four,
yeah.
I'm done.
Let's be honest, Aaron, man.
Yeah,
do you see any kind of viable, you know, and kind of reasoning as to why Man United are going to win a trophy this season, man? Let's be real with yourself, man. I know Leicester are crippled with injuries, but if they get Maddison back in there, you know, come on, man. How can you watch this? How can you see manager winning trophies? And for me, when you look at it, there's a lot of Man United fans who are being very, 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 you know what I mean, in terms of they accepted Mourinho. They went mad at Mourinho for finishing second, even though he did get a trophy as well, by the way. But now it's acceptable for Oli to do the same, mate. There's a lot of fans who are saying right now it's not important about winning trophies. I'm hearing it right now, man. And I think this is down to the manager specifically in terms of him specifically has created this kind of mediocrity, man. I'm being serious, man. This manager has created a level of mediocrity that I don't think any other managers would accept, man. Never, man. And I think the fans, are I'm not saying all of them, by the way. There's still a large fans who still think it's crazy to think that, you know what? How can you not win a trophy and still say it's been a successful season?
What I'm going to say is I don't think we're going to win a title this season. At the start of this season, I said I had the same opinion as Nurdin when a few months back, well, not a few months, like when he was first appointed, and, you know, we would sit down and do our videos. I had the same opinion as Nurdin. I said, after 18 months or 2 seasons or 2 years, I'll be able to judge him properly. And 18 months later now, and we've improved our squad, but our quality of football hasn't improved. Yes, we're second, but it's not because we play good football. It's because we've got one player who basically scores all the goals. And when that player is not playing...
Two. Rashford and Bruno.
2 players, sorry. And when these 2 players are not on the pitch, we seem clueless. And football shouldn't be about that. Football should be a team sport where even if 2 of your best players are out, you still have different outlets.
Listen, can I say something quickly before this? Man City average on 5 players coming in every game, 5 changes a game. They average on 5 changes. And this is what Aaron's talking about. System. 5 changes a game, you know.
It doesn't make a difference. It doesn't make a difference.
There's no difference.
Musa, 5 quality players. 5 quality players.
And we've got that on the bench. We've got that on the bench. We've got that on the bench. We have got that on the bench. But let us make his point.
I don't think we're going to win any trophies with Oli this season, purely because I've seen we're making the same mistakes over and over again, and we're not learning from it. And you know what they say about, obviously I don't have kids, but if a kid doesn't want to learn at some point, you're just like, you know what, just let him make mistakes and let him learn the hard way. Because if a kid's making a mistake and I'm not telling you off, I'm not telling you you're doing the wrong thing, then what's the point? Do you know what I mean? What's the point? And it's the same with Man United. Some of our players are making the same mistakes over and over and over again. They're not being told off. They're being made comfortable. They're being encouraged to do the same thing again and again. And because of that, it's costing us games. And the managerial decisions as well are costing us games. So, yeah, my conclusion is we're not going to win a trophy this season with Oli.
Look at this one. Nori, I wanted to ask this one specifically. You're talking about how Man City still have a good squad. All you don't if you want to make them subs. That's the problem I'm talking about. And that is for me, you can't rebuttal that. You can't rebuttal that.
You know what, Saeed? Saeed, the facts don't care about the facts don't care about my feelings. That is a fact. I can never argue with that.
No, but I'm not saying about facts. Forget the facts.
Yo, man,
please,
I need to dip in it.
For the people. Yeah, big up Aaron, man. Big up Aaron.
Listen, what you just said, nice one, Aaron. What you just said there is clear. It's clear. That the fact that Man
United, you can't rebuttal that.
Ollie doesn't make the substitutions. I have never seen Ollie make a half-time substitution. Well, not in a long time anyway. Other than if he's not forcing him in an injury to change something. To me, all I needed to know was that when he said, "I don't coach the players." Everything, all my answers, all my questions, all my speculations, that fact just answered a lot of things, settled a lot of things for me.
I agree.
But I will go again. We're coming to the end of the show. I know there's been a lot of heated discussion in this. A lot of people are all it out clearly. But I will say what Musa always tells me. It's easier to bully the man that you can and go and get out there. But the people who are run this club into the ground, the people that
You know why I don't know it in? You know why I don't know it in? You know why? Because people have a plan. No. Hold on.
I'm finishing my point. Let me finish my point.
Yeah, man. Finishing the point. Finishing it.
It's easier to come for the manager because it's too much work to go after the real bad man in the place.
Okay.
The people who want to give Man United money. The people who want to give Man United money.
Musa, can I ask you the question? Musa, you'll be the last person to kind of round up the podcast here. Musa, you know what I say?
I'm not even answering the question you asked. Man United going to win the trophy. I'm not even answer the question you asked.
Go on, then.
I think there has to be a drastic turn of events in terms of form, in terms of injuries being luck. I definitely think for us to win a trophy, it has to be a massive luck. And at the top level, in the top clubs, not everyone can win their trophies, but they give the best opportunity to their manager, to their club, and that's what they do. Bayern Munich are going to win a trophy, guaranteed. City are going to win a quadruple or whatever this season, guaranteed. Atletico Madrid, Barcelona, Real Madrid, one of them's going to win the cup, one of them's going to win the league. It's fact. There's no other teams in Spain that are going to do that. AC Milan are in the title race. It'll be AC Milan or Inter Milan or Juventus because these clubs have all the foundations. At Man United, it will have to be down to some real luck, like proper luck for Man United to win a trophy. And I'll go back to it. All of the fans, all the people listening, we can put huge pressure on the Glazers, huge pressure on Woodward, and make Woodward the spotlight. Not just pick on the manager, make Woodward the spotlight accountable for the shambles that we are at Man United. But nobody wants to do that. And only me and Musa see that clearly.
No, I see that clearly. You know what it is, yeah? For me, Musa, just to kind of round up the process. By the way, shout out to everybody in the building. 500 people been out here throughout the whole video. Make sure you smash a like on the video. You know what I say, Musa? For me, I can't really, when you say about bullying the little kid, man, the Man United fans don't have a plan to go bully the guy at the top. There's no plan.
Yeah.
But the plan for me right now, and it's the easy plan, we can see what we can see on the football pitch every single week. I only see what the Glazers do in the summer, in the, mid-season reports, how the financial reports. It's easier, man. You know what I mean? It's easier for me to go look at it. And that's why, for me, I look at it in terms of the manager. It's easy to have a plan. I say, you know what? Get rid of him. Then we focus on the next plan then we say, you know what? Let's look at the Glazers, what they've done. My problem. I don't believe, the management and the team, and especially the fans, have a plan, a united plan to get rid of the Glazers. And that's why, for me, it will always be manager out first before the Glazers out. And that's what it will be. And I'm sorry, but that's the reality, man. That's the reality. Sorry?
Who do you want? What manager do you want, Saeed?
For me now, when I look at him, man, I'm looking at maybe Ancelotti. Go and get prize out Ancelotti from Everton. I'm being serious, man. Go get him out there.
See what it is.
A big boy.
You know what we have here? You know what the problem we have? The same way we don't have a plan to go against the big brother who's taking the piss. The same way we don't have a plan for that. We don't have a plan in terms of choosing the new manager. So as much as we might say, let's go So as much as we might go, let's go and get the Leipzig manager. He's doing a good job. There's going to be a massive part of this fan base who's going to be waiting for his first mistakes, and then they're going to go for him just as everyone else goes for the little brother. So there's too much of us as a fan base that's prepared to go in for the new man that's never going to make his job settled. So we need the big brother to steady the ship, bring in the football, the director of football, bring in the right people, because whoever we get, we're going to go for them. Like I would say, go and get in the Leipzig manager, yeah? But as soon as he comes there and it's Christmas and he's struggling and he's not doing well and the board haven't backed him in what he wanted to get back in and problems are going on, everyone's gonna. But no, everyone won't go for the big brother. Everyone's just there's gonna be a part of our fan base that's gonna go for the manager again. So if we're gonna keep on going for the managers, and that's why getting rid of Ollie, it's like Poch. Everybody was saying get Poch, but there was a massive part of the fan base that was saying no. So can you imagine Poch being 4th or 5th in the league? Everybody would have been like, Ollie's better than Poch. Why did we get Poch? Ollie was 3rd. Yeah. We were 2nd. There'll be a big fan base, part of the fan base that will be saying Ollie's better and all of that. So it's like there's a massive part of the fan base now who are saying Ollie's better than Jose Mourinho. Really? Is Ollie really better than Jose? That's the reality. And that's because Ollie is finishing higher than Jose did with Man U or playing better football. We're going to really sit here with everything Jose has won in a game and say that this Supervisor is better than it. No, it's not true. But that's what the board at Man United do. The board at Man United do has us being angry with the managers rather than the board itself.
Thank you. Listen, Saeed, my final point before you cut off the show. My final point. I understand the emotions. I understand how everybody's like, get Ollie out. And that's why, honestly, I was gutted aspect of it because some of the fan base, they're like, get him out, get Ollie out, especially you being the chairman of that. You being the chairman and the leader of Ollie out from back in the day, right?
I've been on there for a while,
and
man.
You know what? And you were like, get Poch in. Because I just want the fans to understand, regardless of the manager, if there's no structure in this football club, there is no sustained success happening ever again. Now, what I like about Kalala, speak up Pirate Radio. You'll get out, go and check this after this podcast finishes shortly.
Yeah, live. Shortly. Check him out.
But I will say he says he just wants to have a good time and play good football and lose a couple of games, win a trophy now and again, be mediocre like a has-been, a club that has been, right? Man, under this current structure, I say it again and again, Man United ain't going anywhere too quick. If this sustains, next manager will come. Half the fan base will be split again. Fan base will like give him a chance. Then the fan base, when he loses 4 or 3 games in a row, they'll be like, get him out. This other manager was better than me.
Not me. You know what I think as well? I challenge as well us as a platform, because I think we also buy into it, because most of the Man United fan channels and platforms, we all concentrate as well on the manager and the squad. I don't think I've seen a podcast, which is like, let me see something like I don't know, Eye on the Board, like where you do a good show.
You know the international break, international break. Yeah, will be the Glazers podcast.
We need to do you know what it is? Because I'm saying it's the same way we look out for who the new players are, who's the best right back, we should also be doing shows where we're looking at who's the best footballer directors out there. What's the type of structures out there? We need to have these conversations.
You know what, Musa? You're just taking away. You've just given away all my game plan for my new channel. Right? You just gave it all away, bro. You've just given all the game plan away, bro. That's what my channel is about.
Yeah, we need it.
Looking at the structure at every level.
We need it. We need it, because you know what? As a fan base, we need to be more educated about who is out there and what's the possibilities, because we all scream for change, but we don't know the directors out there who have track records, who are doing good things, like we know defenders and midfielders. And as a fan base, that's why we can get havoc by Woodward and these men, because we're not educated. And whenever you're not educated on something, it's easy for people to pull the wool over your eyes. We need to be like, no, and hold people accountable. So I'm going to be tuned in.
Yeah. By the way, I've just changed this channel Central right there. It's right there, as you can see, people. United Real Therapy. No, to give yourself a shout out, man, and let the people know, man. You get me. You're back. You're ready on the YouTube scene now. You're ready.
I am. It's official. I am a YouTuber. I had some technical difficulties. My internet is doing a madness. Neil Ashton got a sniff in it. As soon as Neil Ashton found out, man moved in, man. Man moved in. Man is there with his operative, trying to scramble me before I even get my first, match reaction or want to do my preview. So fingers crossed. Tomorrow, hopefully, I'll do a preview to the Crystal Palace game tomorrow. Tomorrow evening.
Tomorrow.
You should get that.
United Real Therapy. United Real Therapy, isn't it? Make sure you go subscribe.
And I want to build a community, specifically looking at what a lot of the things what Musa said, and that's what I'm going to be looking at. I'm going to be looking at unpacking why Man United's where we are, comparing us to the bigger clubs. Yeah. We're talking about the Barcelona. And you know what? One thing I would say, a lot of people will come at me when I do a show about structure. They'll go, look at Barcelona, because the structure can sometimes, you can have a footballing director, you can have the board and everything, but they could be the wrong guy. They could be the wrong guy. So that's how it is. But then, like managers, you get, if the guys where accountability is, if they're not being accountable, then you move on and get the next best guy.
Like what you said is key there. What you said is key there as well, is that as much as things go wrong at Barcelona, there's accountability. Them man start voting, when them fans start voting,
and he's got arrested today. He's got arrested today, by the way. Barcelona's been arrested today, by the way, people. Accountability, already. That's accountability for you there. The Barcelona former president been arrested today. Bartomo.
Yeah, exactly.
Accountability. Yeah, accountability. Yeah. Things happen.
Oh, yo, look, exactly. But go check out and what's his name? Someone said there just already subscribed to the channel. So big up to you, minority. Your subscribers are coming in, people. You get me? Musa, let them know what you do, my Resoul, man. You get me? As we're easy now.
Yeah, Resoul CIC. We're still out here. We're working. You know the platform Resoul CIC. I've been out there on some media stuff, doing videos, just doing what I do. You know, it is.
Come on, man. Come on, documentary, man. I see the documentary coming up.
Yeah.
Documentary, man. Let the people know about the documentary.
Yeah. Resoul CIC. And I got a little something that I done on Big Ego Entertainment where they tell stories. Obviously, I used to be a rapper, so people want to know my journey, where it went from. I started off with gigs and everyone SN1 Ghetto. They want to know the journey, how we got to from there to here. So that story's out there. That's on Big Ego Entertainment.
Come on, man, people. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody in the building. That podcast about the Glazers, I reckon we'll do that on the international break. The international break, that'll be a good time to kind of delve into the Glazers and how we can, let's say, get these guys out, man. Let's a plan to get the Glazers out of this football club. Let's see what the plan is. But guys, please subscribe to United Central. Road to 30k, people. So let's subscribe if you are watching for this for new. Like the video, and yeah, man, we'll be back next week, same time, 5:30, and we'll see you soon, guys. Hopefully, a massive week for Man United. Take care. Bye bye.